It's the Soul Fantasy Show, Soul Fan Show. Hey, it's the Soul Fantasy Show live for May 26, 2021. Going over the top picks, plays, and studs for Draftkings and Fanduel. If you already haven't, please subscribe to this channel. Right off the top, we have the nice old trio of the 76ers. Joel Embiid, he's the sole stud of the day, 10,100. Hit a 42 last time, and I project him even higher, 46 to 50 fantasy points. Then you have Ben Simmons. He had a 52 last time. Expect that. I don't know if he's going to get that high, but he's going to do pretty well. And 52 for Tobias. They both had 52. They're both on fire. They're both hot. They're red hot. You have Russell had a 44. Beal had a 56, so yet Russell's the most expensive player out there. Not saying he's the best player out there out of them. You can't say that. Julius Randle, 1.31 fantasy points per minute. Alright, Julius Randle's a nice option. Trae Young, 1.39 fantasy points per minute. He's only 8.5, and for that price, if he gets another 50 to 57 points, he'll pay off really well for 8,500. Mike Conley, 6,700. He had a 52. All these 52s. Rudy Gobert, 36. He's 7,700. And down at the bottom, you have Alex Burke. He's getting a fantasy point per minute. Projected at about 5.7 times value. That's pretty good. He's going to get you around 30 fantasy points for 4,600. He's a sole sleeper of the day. Then more Sixers. You got Danny Green. Then you have Joe Val, 37, 28, 61. He's a fine option. He is 8,000. Clint Capella, 1.36 fantasy points per minute. R.J. Barrett, 6,200 today. 31, 31, and a 22 his last three. That's his pace. Okay. Here's some other guys. Emmanuel Quickly for 3,400. He had a -1 there a couple days ago, so I'm probably going to steer clear of him. Derrick Rose. Alright, so there's Derrick Rose from the Knicks. 32 fantasy points. He's helping the Knicks out a lot. Very low turnover ratio. He is a good option. Derrick Rose, 5,900. 30 fantasy points. Put me in. Mark me up for that. Taj Gibson is 3,300. 23, 13, and 12. His last pathetic three. Favors, 33. He's also 3,300. Where he had a 35 and a 23 his last two. Getting 1.09 fantasy points per minute. He's projected at 5 times value. John Collins. There's some of his scores. Right, John Collins. Then more Sixers. We have Seth Curry. Shake Milton is cold. He had an 8. So you take a risk when you put Shake Milton in. George Hill, 17, 25, 5'9". A little bit of a risk there as well. Dylan Brooks, 51 big fantasy points. He's 6,300. Can he do it again? He's getting fantasy points per minute. He's at least projected 30. So that's good to throw him in there if he's going to get 30 fantasy points. John Morant. 50% turnover ratio. 39. And he had a 60 2 games ago. Alright, let's see what he does. For 8,100, he better get that 40. Alright, you got Bojan Bogdanovic, Herter. Alright. You got Noel, 0.85 fantasy points per minute for 4K. He has an ankle injury, so he might not play, so you might want to steer clear of him, fade him out. Lou Williams is only 3,500. Now, he's on the Hawks now. Alright, he isn't really doing much on the Hawks. He's really been slowing down a lot. And he's aging a little bit. Yeah. So he isn't the same Lou Williams that we just saw just a season ago. But he's still a good option. 71 on here. Getting a fantasy point per minute, he could hit 5 times value. He could get, he's only projected 17, but he might wind up getting 25, 30 fantasy points. Dwight Howard, Bogan, Gafford, Peyton is cold. Jackson's cold. Royce O'Neal is cold. Jordan Clarkson, I wouldn't say that's cold. He had that 44, so if he gets 30 plus fantasy points, he'll pay off the 7,100. You have Tyus Jones, Len, Huey, Herter, Len, Huey, Herter, and Jones. All right. Then you have Ish Smith, Korkmaz making an appearance, a rare appearance. He has 2 goose eggs on there. We don't like seeing goose eggs, but he's worth playing for 3,600. You have Bertans, Grayson Allen down at the bottom. Bryant is out. He tore his ACL. He's nowhere. He's not getting in. You have these guys down here. Let's go to the lineups. Draftkings lineup. Then we'll go over some sleepers and stud. Alright, let's go over the single games. Joel Embiid, Rui, Gafford, Harris, Curry, and Howard. Nice. I like Joel Embiid and the captain, or Russell Wilson. One of those two, but Russell will probably be very expensive. So I'd rather save a little bit with, I'm going to go here. But then I might want to go Beal. And then you're only 900 off. You can find somebody. Just throw somebody in there. You go Curry. You go Ish Smith. 3-game slate tonight. Alright, now we're going to go with our Fanduel lineups. Alright, here's the lineup for Fanduel. That's it for Fanduel, guys. And Soul is going to show you. Here are the studs and so here's the sleepers. Derrick Rose, Bojan, Curry, Herter, Alex Burke, Noel, if he plays. Royce O'Neal we said was cold. Gibson, Favors, Ingles, Milton, Jackson, Rui, Ish, Gafford, Bullock, Niang, Maxey, Paul Reed, and Aqua. Those are the sleepers, and here's the studs. These are Fanduel. Russell, Joel Embiid, Julius Randle, Bradley Beal, Trae Young, Clint Capella. Then we got Ja, Simmons, Rudy Gobert, Mike Conley, Tobias Harris, John Collins, and Kyle Anderson. It's the Soul Fantasy Show, Soul Fan Show.